If you clicked on this video, I can guarantee you right now we have a lot in common. I can probably assume that you're single, just like me, but I can also assume that you have a love for God and you want to know why your singleness is equally as important, if not more important, than the promise, than the marriage. Listen, we are placed in this single season for a reason. It is not a negative. It does not need to be sad. God has us here right now for a beautiful reason, to prepare us to be a wife. We will never get this time back, ladies, okay? We are single. It is just us and God. We have to live out this season and spend as much time learning about God, about ourselves, because this season will not last forever. And once it is gone, we will never get it back, because we are waiting, ladies. We are waiting for the man that God has handpicked. AKA, we are going to have one marriage, because God does not want us to get divorced, which is why we are waiting for the right man. But today I'm going to talk about 7 points on why your single season is so beautiful and so important. Let's get right into it. Number 1, I kind of touched on this, but every season is intentional. Listen, I know we all talk about God's timing is perfect, but it truly, truly is. Why my door moved like that though? God has you here right now for a reason, whether that's because, honestly, I think it's because me and you need to prepare a little bit more. I know some people talk about your husband might need to be preparing, but I just don't think that God would have someone waiting for years for no reason just to prepare the other person. I believe that we are both, you and your future spouse, me and my future spouse, are being prepared right now. If I was ready to be in a relationship, I would be in a relationship. But God sees the bigger picture, and He says, you are in this single season for a reason. So embrace this reason. Find out this reason. Find out what flaws, what heart posture God might be trying to change or, refine. This is intentional. This is not a punishment. This is a blessing. I think so many people are putting singleness on such a negative pedestal. And I'm like, but there's nothing wrong with being single. It's so beautiful. And yes, of course, I have my days where I think about my future husband a little bit more than I probably should. But naturally, we are human beings that want love, that want companionship. We are built for that. But right now, in this single season, no matter what age you are at, please try and embrace it, because your man is coming. Number 2, it is very normal and I think healthy to feel lonely and sad sometimes about this. Again, that just shows that you have a heart for a husband and a heart for a family. But I can guarantee you that this loneliness or the sadness that you're feeling is so much better than if you were to settle and be with the wrong man. I would 100% rather feel lonely and left behind, or whatever the emotions that the devil tries to tell me I am, than be in an unhappy marriage, which is exactly why I am waiting for my hand-picked man from God. I will not settle, because although that might feel good to just be in a relationship and have someone to do things with, in the long term, that honeymoon phase is going to die off, as it does with every partner. And you need someone that is going to bring you everlasting peace, not just that quick fix, that quick high. So again, being lonely, feeling lonely, I shouldn't say being lonely, that's a state of being. You don't want to be lonely. You can feel lonely, but if you're straight up feeling like you are a lonely human being, then that's maybe a sign to reach out to God a little bit more. I think feelings of loneliness and feelings of discontent are very healthy when you desire a husband so badly. But again, I would much rather take that feeling any day than over settling and being with the wrong man. So I'm assuming if you're watching this video, you are also waiting for your man that is handpicked from God, and I can guarantee you God loves to write love stories. He created all of us. He knows His ways about how we're gonna meet and whatever. So please, please, please don't get discouraged. Again, going back to the first point, you are here for a reason. Please don't try and rush the process. It's like God knows exactly what temperature you need to be at. He doesn't want y'all undercooked. He doesn't want y'all overcooked. He knows the exact second to take you out of the oven, aka to introduce you to your husband. Which kind of brings me into my 3rd point. Proverbs 18:22, he who finds a wife finds a good thing. Let's back it up. He finds wife, okay? So really what this is saying, and there's so many other verses that kind of back this up, we as women are the treasure, okay? We are not supposed to go and find our husband. No. That is not how it works. That's not how any of this works, okay? The man is the provider. The man is the seeker. He is going to find us. I truly believe, just like Adam and Eve, Adam saw Eve and pursued her. So many other stories in the Bible. The man is pursuing her. That's just how God made it. So please do not think that we as women need to find the man. Yes, like I always say, you know, maybe we should get out of our house and put ourselves out there and surround ourselves with Christian people, you know, church groups, life groups, volunteering, atmospheres like that. But again, you don't need to find him. You don't need to find him and pick him out of a crowd. And I am so insanely guilty, and I'm going to be vulnerable here for a second. I am insanely guilty of going to Christian events and thinking maybe my husband will be here. Ladies, I don't know who needs to hear this, because I sure do, but not every Christian man is a potential husband candidate, okay? There are a lot of Christian men out there. There are a lot of good men out there. There are a lot of cute Christian good men out there. That does not mean he's your husband. And so we need to get that out of our mind, okay? I think I had this, actually kind of going off topic for a second, I had this huge realization last night, this is the kind of the whole reason I'm making the video, that I am way too focused on, I hate it, but I'm way too focused on like, is today gonna be the day that I meet my husband? Like, no, because I want it so badly, I have a very strong feeling that it's not gonna happen right now. In this season of my life, I need to fix my eyes more on Jesus and not even have these thoughts of like, oh my gosh, is tonight's worship event gonna be the night that I meet my husband? Like, no, baby girl, no. Until I get this out of my mind, I truly don't think it's gonna happen. So I'm having peace and content with right now. I am 24 years old. I've been single for almost 3 years. Right now, and maybe for a little while now, maybe for a long while, I don't know, it's not my time. I kind of feel that in my heart, and I feel that because of the amount that I want it. And everyone says, oh, it comes when you're not looking. I do think that there is something to say about that. I think when you fully surrender this area of your life and you actually see what God is trying to do in it, that is when he can finally deliver the promise. Like, again, I remember for so long, you know, I live at home right now, I'm trying to move out. For so long, I was just pushing against a hard wall. I don't even know if that's a saying, but I was like, I need to get out of here. I need to get out of here. Like, that's all I was focusing on, was getting out of here. Yet that was actually keeping me stuck. My finances were not moving. No doors were opening, until I actually took a step back and I realized, oh, okay, so God has me here for a reason. And I'm starting to see that reason is to heal my traumas and heal my relationship with my parents. So you have to realize that if you really want this husband, really wanting it all the time, thinking about it all the time, is actually possibly hindering your process. Again, I don't think there's ever going to be a time where I'm like not thinking about it, but I don't think it should be fully taking over, obsessing over my brain, you know? That is just showing me a lot of what I need to work on, showing me a lot about where my heart is, because a husband is not going to fix whatever hole I'm trying to fill. Like, clearly I'm a little bit dissatisfied in some area of my life, and yes, I could say, oh, it's because I want a husband, but really it's not, because that's gonna die and then I'm gonna want the next thing. We're always waiting for something. Let me go back to my point though. He who finds a wife. Now, it doesn't say he who finds a potential candidate, he who finds his future wife. No, he who finds a wife. A wife. That means to me that I need to actually become a wife before I meet my husband. And listen, this is actually really fun and interesting. We all know the Proverbs 31 women. If we can embrace her, and if we can become her, honey, where are you at? Because I am ready for you. If I'm looking down, it's because I don't know all these verses off the top of my head and I had to write them down. But Proverbs 31:25, she is clothed with strength and dignity. She can laugh at the days to come. You guys, we need to be Proverbs 31. We need to be laughing at the days to come, not so focused on when am I going to meet my husband? Like, no, we are so confident in God's plan that we don't even think about that. It's all a joke, haha. Like, it's all funny. We can laugh at the future. We don't carry around anxiety and like confusion, because it is God's plan, and that is where I'm trying to be. I'm trying to be so filled with the Holy Spirit, so filled with God that I'm not even thinking about the days to come, aka I'm not even thinking about when is he coming, because I am so content in where I'm at. Which brings me to another saying of like, when you're chasing God, when you're running after God, you're gonna find him along the way, because he's gonna be running to God too. This is how God does it, I believe. Proverbs 31:30, charm is deceptive and beauty is fleeting, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. Again, this is all goes back to our heart posture with God. If we can fear God more than anything, God needs to be the center. God needs to be taking up most of our thoughts, not our future husband. So once we get that right, first of all, beauty is fleeting. And I know a lot of times people are like, well, my clock is ticking. I'm single, I'm 35. Like, oh my gosh, I'm starting to look older. But that's not what your husband is looking at. Yes, of course, physical attraction plays a part, and at 35, 45, 55, you can still be a beautiful soul inside and out. Youth is very, it's very like what we glamorize in the Western culture, in the world. It's all about beauty, this, that, no wrinkles, no sight. Like, no, that is not what a true man of God is looking for. The heart, the fearing the God is the most important part. And once you can get that, once you can truly realize that your beauty is fleeting and the man that you're going to be with is going to see you, hopefully, God forbid, God willing, we live a long life, wrinkly and disgusting, and probably maybe changing your diapers. So you need to focus on God. Fear God, because none of this is lasting, okay? None of this is lasting. So fix your soul, fix your heart posture on God, and he will give you the desires of your heart, which kind of leads into another point. God gives you the desires of your heart. I'm like jumping all over the place. That was like number 7. But anyways, God gives you the desires of your heart. So when you fix your eyes on God, your desires change. Yes, 100% my desires have completely 180 flipped upside down into a million somersaults, okay? But throughout this whole journey, I have still wanted to be a wife. I still want a husband. But now my idea of the right husband, not the right husband, because what do I know, but my idea of my future husband is Christian, is a leader, is blah, 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 blah. It never used to be like that before. The men I have dated in the past were not, I don't even know if they believed in God, it didn't come up. So that desire of still having a husband has remained the same, but my qualities of who I want him to be like have dramatically changed. And that's how I know, now that I'm saying it out loud, I'm like, that's how I know that God is in this, because I want a Christian man now. And again, I don't know, maybe I will be single forever. I don't know God's plan, and that is where I'm trying to be. I'm trying to get to the point where I'm so content that with whatever happens, although I want it really bad and I want kids really bad, with whatever happens, it is God's plan. And I will not settle. Even if I'm like, I don't love like saying this, I'm still a human and I still have, wants. But even if I was like 50 and still single, like I would not settle. I hope I'm not 50 and single. But God's plan, right? That's where I'm trying to be. I will remain single and my eyes fixed on God any day than settling over a man just to be in a relationship. No, I want to be in a God-written love story with my future, with a man that God has made specifically for me, and that means waiting. If that's truly what I want, which is what I want, then I have to fully, if that's what I'm saying right now, I'm just like, a lot of stuff is clicking up here. If I want a man directly picked from the hands of God for Gabriella, not saying he was made for me, I don't believe in any of that. I believe that we were all made for our own purpose to glorify God. But if two people can come together and glorify God together, that is what I want. And if I want it directly from God, then I must surrender and I must wait for him. I cannot rush this process. So that was a beautiful realization. Yes, going back. So you have the desires of your heart, right? I think it is okay and actually great to pray bold prayers. Pray, God, if this is not from you, please remove this desire. Please remove this desire for a husband. If a husband is not in my future, remove it, God. And I think he will. He doesn't want us to go through life feeling like this, feeling like I'm missing out on something. So pray that prayer. And also pray the prayer of, God, prepare me to be a wife. Convict me. Do anything that you have to do to get me ready as fast as possible. Again, on your timing, but change me as fast as possible. I don't want this process to drag out. And trust me. Oh, trust me. I actually prayed this prayer the other day, and he's been opening my eyes to, let's just say, a couple reasons why I'm probably single. So yes, pray these bold prayers. So going back to the Proverbs 31 woman, she's fully devoted to God before any man comes. She's not even thinking of a man. Her eyes are so fixed on God. Guys, we need to fix our eyes on Jesus. And I promise you, he wants to bless us, but we need to become Proverbs 31 woman. In every area of our life, she embodies dignity, patience, gentleness, kindness, courage, wisdom, all these things throughout every area of her life. And when I think of a really great wife or a mother, like she looks like cute, put together. I'm very much into the olden days thing. Like she has her cute little dress on, her apron. She's preparing dinner for her husband or her kids. She's making sure her husband has, his coffee before work. She's gentle, she's kind, she's soft. Like she's not soft-spoken because she has no problem saying what's on her mind, but she's a gentle soul, and that is what I am trying to be. I was not always like this in the past, and I'm still working on shedding my old skin, but I was very not aggressive, but just not ladylike. I don't know, I just wasn't. And I want to embody that, and thank God that when I thought I wanted a husband when I was 18, a mess, thank God I didn't get that. And I was a relationship hopper for the longest time, but ever since I have fully been walking with God, I have been single. And that is no coincidence. God is saying, here, you met me, now let's build our relationship strongly, and then you can handle another relationship. How is God gonna bless you with a full human relationship with many flaws and imperfections? Because marriage is hard when you haven't even coveted or leveled up your relationship with God. Do you know what I mean? Because no relationship with God is going to be perfect, obviously, but it's a continuing growing that you're going to have till the rest of your life. But if you don't have a firm foundation with God, how are you supposed to have a firm foundation with a flawed human being? It's just not going to happen. So again, ladies, I don't care how long you've been single. If it's been 1 year or 10 years, you are not done building this relationship with God in your single time, again, or else you would be with him. God sees the bigger picture. God sees things that we don't see, and we need to trust that he is protecting us from something, and that he loves us so much that he knows that he needs our heart fully right now. We need to be with God fully right now. God and only God. This brings me on to my next point. Guys, the grass is always greener. Whether it's your neighbors, whether it's down the street, whether it's in front of your house, across the street. The grass is always going to be greener. The relationships that you see, they could very well want something that you have. And I hate to say this, but a lot of the relationships that we look at and think that they're so perfect, they weren't handpicked from God, and we don't know what's going behind closed doors. So stop comparing your life to other people's, because like I said, you could be single right now being like, oh my gosh, everyone around me is getting married, but they could be looking at your life and being like, dang, I wish I prepared more in my single season. I wish I had the time. Even people with kids, we have an advantage because we have a lot of time to glorify God and build up our own ministry, build up our own life, whatever that looks like for you. I know that I am nowhere near in a position that to be a mom, let alone to even be a wife. I still feel like I have stuff to work on, so I'm pretty much answering my own question. Although I do desire a husband, and I would love to meet someone that we could build together. God again sees the bigger picture, and he's like, I'm gonna build you first, and then you and him can meet and start forming a family. But I know deep down that I still have some purifying to do and some heart postures to change, some habits to drop. I know that God is preparing me, and I'm sure that there are some of you out there, maybe even listening to this video, that feel like they're completely and totally ready and that they've been waiting for so long. What are they waiting for? But I promise you, God loves you so much. He is protecting you. listen, I know I've only been single for almost 3 years now, and sometimes it feels like a lot. I know that there are people out there that have been single for 20 years, and I'm sure that that is very, very hard. And people have been open. I've watched YouTube videos, single women, where they have been open about their anger and just like kind of disappointment with God. Like, why have I not gotten this yet? But whenever they do get that promise, it's almost like, now I see why. So just remember, God literally sees the bigger picture. And I know it's so much easier said than done to be like, he is the creator of everything. We need to trust him with our heart. But it's true. And this is an act of faith. Faith is such a big thing when you're waiting for a promise like this. God is looking at how you're waiting. And then just to wrap this up, I know I kind of talked about this before, but God's timing is truly, truly perfect, okay? And once we can wrap our heads around that, we have to remember that we are not living for ourselves. And I know that's, kind of hard to remember sometimes, because we are here to solely glorify God. And if you're like me, you want to glorify him with your husband. But again, this is a small picture of your whole life. So we have to remember, we really are not in control. Sure, you can go and swipe on Tinder, and I'm sure you can find someone that you can go on a couple fun dates with, and will eventually pop the question. But if it's not from God, you don't want it, because I promise you, it's going to be a worldly life, which isn't even what you want to live. If you're a true Christian, like, you don't even want to be there. So why on earth would you rush it? And I think a lot of people, yeah, maybe you're not doing those things, but our heart posture is feeling rushed. We're constantly sulking, and we're like me, looking, and that's just not what we're supposed to do right now. This is a beautiful, beautiful season, and I get it. Some days are going to be harder to remember that. Right now, as I'm making this video, I'm thinking, why would I ever be worried? Like, this is such a beautiful, season. I get to learn and grow with God on my own, all the time, selfish time with God. I don't have to care about another human being. But I'm sure, tonight or tomorrow, there's gonna be moments where I'm like, dang, I kind of want to meet my husband. But I have to watch my own video, because seriously, it's not up to me. If I'm giving my life to God, if I'm surrendering every aspect of my life to God, it is not up to me. And I have to come to peace with that. And I hope that you do too, because if you truly wait and are obedient and follow what the Holy Spirit is telling you to do, God is going to bless you with an amazing marriage, and it's going to be worth the wait. And remember that your husband is being prepared too right now. I like to think, what is my husband doing right now? Is he single? I hope he's single. I'm kidding. But no, seriously, even if he's not single, I hope he's learning something from his relationship. But yeah, it is a beautiful season. And I think that praying for your husband, journaling is a great tool. This is so cringy. I can't even believe I'm about to show this. But I have a journal literally that says DFH, Dear Future Husband. I started it on August 23rd. It's 9 August, September 23rd of last year. And I write to him, and I've honestly thought about reading these to him when we meet, and it comforts me. Whether I actually read it to him or not, it's comforting to me, just to know that he's out there. And again, he is not going to fill any sort of hole. So yes, this desire is great, and it's a lot, but it really shouldn't be all consuming. And I think that's what God is trying to show me right now. And I know he's working in my heart. And again, I pray, God, please fix my heart onto you and shape me into a wife as soon as possible, because I want to be ready. Again, I'm not trying to rush the process, but I'm do what you have to do, God. I surrender it all. So yes, thank you guys so much for watching. And just remember, there are a lot of single Christians out there, both men and women, that are feeling exactly what you have felt. So you are not alone, and this is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful season. Stop looking at the relationships around you. Everybody's story is different, okay? And it's beautiful because it's from God, especially if you surrender your whole life to him, which I highly recommend doing. There's no other way to live. So thank you guys for watching, and have a great, great rest of your day.